Hello and welcome back to our spelling word review, okay? This week, all of our spelling words have one thing in common, and that is that they are all R control words. Now in class, we've talked about how R control means the R is bossing that vowel around. The R is saying, you can't say what you normally say. You're not going to say You're going to say something else. The R is bossing around the vowel. This week, we only have ER, OR, and AR because whenever you start getting into some UR and IR, the ER gets real confused, okay? So we are sticking with one spelling, OR, and R this week, okay? We also have a tricky word, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Our first R control word is sister, and it is spelled with that ER spelling. Most of the time when you have a word that has at the end, you're going to use ER. Like 90% of the time. We are going to use ER most of the time when it's at the end of a syllable, the end of a word. This word is no exception. On our tests, whenever I say the word sister, a lot of times people like to just chop out this S and they put sitter, or they'll double the T. They'll just completely leave one of the consonants out of that blend. My recommendation, this is what I tell my kids all the time, pound and type your word. The fancy word for that is segment. Segment means to break it up. Whenever you segment a word, that makes sure that you're not leaving out any sounds. Now, this is a two-syllable word. So I'm going to syllabicate it. You ready for this? I'm going to syllabicate the word, and then after I syllabicate the word, I'm going to segment each syllable. Okay? I know this sounds like a lot, parents, but your kids know what it is, okay? Okay, so in the word sister, there are two syllables. My first syllable is sis. I'm going to pound the syllable sis. Sis. S. I. S. There are three phonemes in that syllable. So I'm going to write my three sound bubbles, and then I'm going to go back. S is spelled S. I is spelled I. S is spelled S. I have sis. Now my second syllable is ter. I'm going to pound that syllable. Are you ready? Ter. T. Two phonemes. T. You spell T with the T. There are lots of ways to spell but most of the time when it's at the end of a word, what do we use? ER. That's right, ER. This is a way to make sure that you're not leaving out one of those consonants in that blend. The next R control word is letter. Again, I have that at the end, so we have that ER spelling. Now, in this word, what I'm anticipating is that some of us are going to forget to double that T. So again, I'm going to show you a trick to make sure that we don't do that. But first, this is a two-syllable word, a multisyllabic word for my people who remember what that means. I have my multisyllabic word, my two-syllable word. I'm going to syllabicate it, and then I'm going to segment, okay? Letter. That first syllable is let. Pound and type the word let. Let. Et. Three phonemes. You spell with an L. You spell with an E in this word. And you spell T with a T. So I have my first syllable let. My second syllable is ter. Pound it. Ter. T. Two phonemes. You spell T with a T. And in this word, we're going to spell with ER. Because remember, most of the time, at the end of a word is spelled ER. Another way for us to remember that in the word letter, I have to make sure I have that double T. If I, for some reason, forget to double my T, and I only put one, there's only one consonant after that vowel. that vowel's gonna say E. Liter. Ooh, that's not how you spell liter. Like a liter of Coke, right? Or a liter of Dr. Pepper. That's not how you spell that. So I know that if I'm trying to write the word letter, I want to double my T. My next word is expert. Now, my R control is not at the end. It's in the middle of a syllable, right? But how am I spelling it still? E-R. All of our R words this week are spelled with an E-R, okay? We're gonna syllabicate, and then we're gonna segment each syllable, okay? My first syllable. Let's clap it. Expert. My first syllable is X. 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 Two phonemes. You spell E at the beginning of a word with an E. X. X is spelled with an X. In my second syllable, pert. I'm gonna pound it. Pert. P-er-t. Three phonemes. You spell P with a P. All of our spelling words this week that have in them are spelled with an E-R. T. You spell T with a T. Whoop. Expert. Now we are in our O-R, our OR words. 8% of the time, you are spelling that sound OR with an O-R. There are some words that like to be funky, like the word war, okay? That's why I said 99% of the time. All of our words this week, or O-R, okay? Now, let's look at this one. This is just a one-syllable word. Born. All I have to do here is segment. I have to break it up. We're going to pound and tap it. Are you ready? Born. B. Or. N. Three phonemes. B. Born. You spell B at the beginning of a word with a B. You spell or with an O-R 98% of the time. And then my last phoneme is N. And you spell N, end of a word, with an N. My next one is sports. What I'm anticipating about this word is us just writing sport. This is a plural word. We have an S at the end of the word, so we want to make sure that we're not leaving off that S, okay? Still a one-syllable word. Even though it's 6 letters, it's a long one-syllable word. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at the root word first. My root word of sports is what? Sport! You're right. Beautiful. Sport. Let's pound and tap sport. Sport. Sp. Or. T. 4 phonemes. You spell S at the beginning of a word with an S. You spell P with a P. Or O-R. T with a T. And then your teacher said that this word is plural. And if something is plural and it just ends in the letter T, all you have to do is add that S. You can really segment the word sports. You don't have to just do the root word, but sometimes doing the root word by itself will help you out, will help you remember how to spell that word to make sure you're not forgetting any sounds. And then adding that suffix or that inflectional ending to the end. Next we have short. This is our last O-R word. Again, a one-syllable word. We're gonna segment the word short. Let's pound and tap it. Short, sh, or, t. 3 phonemes. You spell sh, S-H. You spell or, O-R. And you spell t, S-H-O-R-T. Now we have our R words, our A-R words. Our word is mark, one-syllable word. Pound and tap it. Mark, ark. 3 phonemes. I have my 3 sound bubbles. You spell with an M. You spell R, A-R. and then you spell k with a K in this word. Now, I anticipate some of us wanting to put a C here. I think some of us are going to try and put that C here, and then we're going to look at it and be like, whoa, 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 that does not look right. If you have that R sound before a K, you're going to put a K, okay? The word dark, the word park, the word mark, the word bark. Let me look at the alphabet. I bet I could come up with some more. You're going to use a K if you have that R sound in front of it. Next, I have started. This is another one of those words that has that inflectional ending at the end, ED. Anytime you have ED at the end of a word, that means that it happened in the past. Y'all might be the opposite way of me. So if that's that way, whatever way the past is, it's already happened before. Again, I'm going to look at just the root word by itself, and then I'm going to add that ending after I have the root word spelled. My root word is start. I'm going to pound the word start. Start. St. Art. 4 phonemes. S is spelled with an S. T is spelled T. R is spelled A-R. T is spelled T. And then I have that id. Started. Now this is one of those words that the ED doesn't just sound like D. It doesn't just sound like T. You actually hear that ed. I've learned that ED can either say D, T, or ed. And luckily in this word, you hear the ed at the end. Started. And so hopefully we will remember that we don't need just the D, we need that ED. And then this is my last R control word. It's a 2-syllable word, or the fancy word is multisyllabic. Backyard. I'm going to syllabicate it, which means break it up into syllables, and then I'm going to segment, which means break it up. So I'm going to syllabicate, then segment, and that's going to help us spell it. My word is backyard. Backyard, 2 syllables. My first syllable is back. Back. B-a-k. 3 phonemes. You spell B with a B. You spell A. Every single time you hear A, you use A. Every time. Now, this is what I'm anticipating. I think some of y'all are going to try to just put a C or just put a K. But remember my duck rule. If it is in a syllable with a short vowel in front of it, you don't just put C, you don't just put K. You have to combine that CK. Okay? Duck, truck, back. You use that CK because there's a short vowel in front of it, okay? Back. And then my second syllable is yard. Yard. Y-R-D. 3 phonemes again. You spell Y with a Y. R-A-R. D with a D. Backyard. So altogether, even if you choose not to syllabicate it, to break it up into syllables, there are 6 phonemes altogether. And then our last spelling word of the week is some. This is actually one of the tricky words that we've gone over this year. Tricky words are just words that we haven't mastered yet. We haven't necessarily fully dove into why they're spelt the way that they are. Now in my class, we've talked about how there are actually a lot of words where the O consonant E says It's not saying O like in the word grove. That O consonant E is saying Some, come, love, dove. All of those words have that O blank E, but they're saying So whenever we are on the spelling test, we want to make sure that we're not saying some. Because that is a way to spell some, but that's a sum like, what is the sum of 1 plus 1? 2. This is a math sum. If we are talking about something, or someone, or give me some candy from your Halloween bucket, I'm going to use that O consonant E, just like in the word come. S-O-M-E. Those are all of our spelling words for this week. Let me know if this helps you out. Let me know if you're still confused about something, if there's another trick or something that you need for a specific word. This is my jam. I love phonics. I love explaining why words say the things that they do. Let me know if you need me.